Hello, and welcome to the 252nd episode of Beer Issues. My name is Matt Bruckert, and I'm coming to you live here from Casa de Bruckert. And we haven't been here in a while, so we're back, and we're back in action. We're going to be having a world-class beer today from Funky Buddha Brewing Company out of Oakland Park, Florida, South Florida, Miami area. We have the Funky Buddha Maple Bacon Coffee Porter, and that is a mouthful. And I'm really excited about having this. Not that I haven't had it before, but this beer is rated 99 out of 100. It is rated as a world-class beer. It falls into the American Porter category, making it the number 2 ranked American Porter in the world. So let's go ahead and pour this and talk about it while we do it. First of all, you're going to see we're getting a dark brown to blackish color, which is typical for a porter. And I use this great Funky Buddha bottle opener in this beautiful Funky Buddha glass with my Funky Buddha t-shirt. So we're all Funky Buddha today. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's smell this beer and talk about it. You see that off-white to tan head? Absolutely perfect for a porter. So let's go ahead and smell this and see if we can pick out the different smells. So you do get a smoky smell, which I'm not a big smoked beer fan, but in this beer, because of all the other flavors that are going on, it works. It works very well. But you also, while you're getting that smoky, you get a sweetness to where you get that maple syrup sweetness, and you can actually pick up the smell of the coffee in that. It's kind of all blended together, but if you try real hard, you can kind of separate those smells. It's been a while since I've had one of these, so I'm quite excited to be having one. For a long time, this beer was very hard to get. This and the Imperial version, which is I think they call Wide Awake in the Morning, is the Imperial Porter, which is also phenomenal. But both of them were very hard to get for a long time. But since Constellation Brands purchased them, I think they're making some of these beers that are very popular. And this is like one of their staple beers, or one of their, like, early on, what they were known for kind of beers. Very, very popular. But it was also very hard to find. But now it seems like it's getting out there a little bit more, which, yeah, that's the benefit of the big, as long as big companies don't take over a brewery and make it, change it to where the beer's not as good. You know what I mean? And I think with this beer, they have not changed it in a negative way. It's every bit as delicious as I remember. But let's go ahead. Let's waste no time. Let's dig into this beer and make sure it's as good as I remember. It's like a big giant breakfast just kind of collided into one glass. You get like the mapley, pancakey type flavor in there. You're getting the coffee in there. You're getting a little bit of the smoky flavor. Not too much smoke to where it's overpowered, but that's where the bacon part comes from. It's the smoke that they did. They did it right. I get a little bit of chocolate in there also. Maybe they use some like chocolate hops or something like that. I mean, chocolate malts. But it is just absolutely delightful. Now the beer clocks in at 6.4% alcohol by volume, which is right in line with a typical porter. I can't remember with the Imperial, the Wide Awake in the Morning. I think it was a little bit higher, maybe 7 or 8. I don't really remember. I don't want to say wrong, but definitely Definitely a solid beer. I agree with the rating. It's rated 99 out of 100, world class. I agree completely. It's got a sweetness to it, but the sweetness, sometimes when they make beers like this, people will put too much of maple in it, or too much coffee or too much chocolate. This kind of blends in kind of perfectly all the different flavors into kind of one taste. But if you think about it, as it hits the back of your mouth, you can kind of separate the flavors. Mm. Well, yeah. Now, it's not as like thick as you might expect. A lot of times you get porters that are a little bit heavier, or your mouth feels real heavy. This is not like that. I mean, it's got a good solid flavor to it, but it's not as thick as you might expect. When it hits your tongue. Mm, what a treat! Anyway, we've been on a little hiatus where we haven't been doing the beer issues, but we're getting back on track now. We're just trying to drop a few pounds, so we cut back on a little bit of beer drinking for a while. Not that we're back to full beer drinking, but we're definitely back to beer issues. I've been missing beer issues, so I'm happy to be back. If you've enjoyed this, make sure you tell your friends about beer issues, and we talk about how much fun we're having talking about beer, great beer, and drinking great beer. If you want to see, get any cool Beer Issues gear like Beer Issues hats, t-shirts, go to shop.beerissues.com. And as my wife likes to say, I have beer issues.